everybody, and welcome back to some more MotoGP 21 here on this channel. This is part number 8 of my career walkthrough, and in today's episode we head to Catalonia in Spain for another Moto3 race. So let's get straight into it and let's have a look at what weather we've got for today's race as well. And oh my god, it's going to be a wet race. That is not what I wanted around Catalonia. Very, very tough circuit in the wet, but that's what we've got. So let's get straight into the practice session and put some laps in. Right, let's see if we can get in a much better time. So Acosta's just put in a 1:59.759, and Binder is behind with a similar time. So let's see if we can get a little bit closer. Really struggling in these conditions. It's only the second time we've raced in the wet conditions. The last one was around Jerez, and that was a real battle as well. So I'm expecting this one to be just as difficult. And we're actually using the same setup that we use in Jerez as well. It's our wet setup that worked okay. So I'm hoping this one will work. Be careful. Got to try and stay off those apex curves as much as we can, because I think there will be a lot of accidents otherwise. Just try and drop it nicely into this. And that one seems a little bit awkward. Keeps sending me a little bit wider. And we're not too far off the fastest time. But I think as we get to the qualifying, the times may improve. God dear, onto the curb. Oh my god, almost came off there. Definitely don't want to be doing that in the race. Just really struggling to put the power down as well. But we won't be racing in power free all the time. That's the only thing trying to put in a fast lap and using the power mode free is going to cause. And oh, Costa's gone down, so he has crashed again. I think that's the second or third time I've seen him crash in this session so far. But he is sitting top, so he must be pushing it, taking risks, and I think that's what you have to do, especially around this circuit. And that's not too bad. Oh, and Antonelli's gone down, so another one's gone down. They're all struggling. The final corner. That is a slightly better time, but is it going to put us up the top and across the line? Oh, only just though. I'll take that. Right, so that is the end of the third practice session, and we finish with the fastest time. But I think things are going to get a lot tougher as we head into the qualifying session, because I think a lot of riders are going to push for a much better time. So let's get straight into that and see if we can compete. So here we go.
We're back at the circuit for second qualifying. The first riders are about to get out on track and battle it out for the top grid positions.
Right, so here we go with our qualifying lap, and let's see if we can match Messia's time of 1:59.867. And this qualifying session is in the wet, but it's not raining, but we know it's going to be raining for the race, so the conditions are going to be harder. But let's try and see if we can put a decent time in. Just slightly down on that first sector. I find that first chicane very tough. Sometimes I can nail it, other times I really struggle, but it's going to be a lot harder with other bikes on the circuit, so I will take that we can get round it without crashing as a bonus. And that is not too bad round there. Let's see if we can get up on the time for sector 2 and drop it nicely in. A slight hesitation, try and stay off those curbs. These times should be quicker as the fact that it's not. And Messia's gone down, so he's crashed, but he's still sitting with the fastest lap. And we are slightly up on sector 2. Back up the hill and stay off those curbs. This is the corner that we seem to be a little bit better than the AI on, and we're just trying to hug that inside curb, which is good. And we should be up on sector 3. Drop it down into this slow turn, which can be very challenging, and it's going to be very tight, but just managing to stay on course for a good time here. I think this will be very close, but if we can get in the top P3, I would be very happy. I think we definitely got to start on the front row going into that first turn on this circuit. And final corner. And that is not too bad. Is this going to be quick enough? It's going to be very, very close. And over the line. And oh, we take pole position for now. Oh, that is brilliant. Right, so we take pole position ahead of Rodrigo and McVie and Macias. So it's going to be an extremely tight race, I think. The times are very, very close, and we're going to have to start really well. So let's get straight into today's race and see if we can get some more points on the board.
Hello and welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. We'll be bringing you live coverage of the Moto3 race in just a few minutes. At the moment, the track is completely soaked from rain, which shows no signs of letting up. This will definitely prompt race direction to declare a wet race. Finally, the showdown. Just a few moments to go and the Catalan Grand Prix will get going. Riders in the zone because they know they will have to give 100% from the off.
Right, so here we go with today's race in Barcelona around the Catalunya circuit. Let's see if we can get a good start on pole position into that first corner. So we've got in power mode 3 and we're off. And we've got to hope we can get into that first turn in the lead, but it's going to be tough because we had a couple of riders that were pretty good on the straights, and Rodrigo is one of them, and he's going down the outside. Oh, it's going to be tricky. I'm going to back off slightly. I don't want to run into him into this chicane, and he's taken the lead. I've got to try and avoid. Oh, there's been crashes already into the first turn. That always happens on this circuit, and I'm just trying to stick with Rodrigo. Just being careful because we know that tyres are going to be very, very greasy at first. We're going to have to try and get some heat in them first. And try and keep it steady round there. And McVie's coming in the inside. Let's just try and hold him off. Going side by side with McVie. And slowing it down into this turn. Just overrun it slightly. We're going to go wide. McVie's going to come down the inside of us. No, it didn't have the speed to carry through that turn. But we have got a lot of heat. We've got Binder behind us as well. And Macias. So there's a lot of fast bikes behind us, so we've got to be careful. Oh, bloody hell, McVie, what are you doing? And again, we've gone side by side, and I was not happy about that. He put me off course, and I almost came off, and he's still pushing. He has really pushed me. Oh, my God, almost came off there as we come back over the curb. But, God, dear, he was really pressurising me in those turns. And he's going to come down the inside as well. Is he going to overrun it? I think he is. I'm going to be able just to hold that line. But a really, really pressurised start here on the first lap. And it's given Rodrigo a chance to... And again, McVie is on fire. He's really trying to push as much as he can. It looks like he's really up for a good result today. But he is pushing a little bit hard in certain areas. And he's going to cause himself to have an accident in a minute. And it looks like he's dropped down to P4 and Binder has taken third. But we're losing ground with the leader here with all that battling, which seems to be fine for the one in front and not for me. I really do want to win this race today. And it's always good experience in the wet as well, because there will be a lot of wet races in this career. As we slow it down, let's try and get a good entry into the chicane. Let's try and stay off the curbs if we can. And that's nicely done. And McVie is back into P3 behind us. And we want to steer clear of him. He's really pushing things today. And he looks really on it. We would like to just get out of the range of him at the moment. Just try and get a little bit of breathing space. Oh, just saw him behind us there. I thought Macias would be the one that was going to push today. He had some really consistent laps in the qualifying, but he is down in P5 looking at the times as we've just run that one a little bit wider. But we're managing to stick with the leader on lap 2. Just trying to settle in on these bikes around this circuit in these conditions. I mean, the qualifying was a wet circuit, but it wasn't raining, so these are a little bit more challenging conditions now. And as the tyres start to wear, it's going to be a real issue. We've got to try and stay off the curbs as much as we can. Right, we're going to have to be really good on the brakes as we go into this slow turn. And we're going to take it a little bit wider so we don't get run off in the inside. And it looks like Rodrigo is struggling as well in front. But he's maintaining a good pace as we come to the end of lap 2. And again, he's gone a little bit wider there, and that gives us an opportunity just to close in, close the gap. Let's try and stay off that curb there. But the tyres look in good nick after lap 2. And now we're going into power mode 3, and let's try and get a little bit of slipstream and close that gap as we go into lap 3. And we just hit a 1:59.2, and that is the fastest lap of the race so far. Well, I think they will get quicker as we go on, as we slow it down. Let's try and get nice and tight into here this time, and that is not too bad. Again, that was a good chicane, and we've managed to close the gap. We've still got McVie behind us, very close, only 2/10 behind us, so he's very close as we just had a quick look. Right, let's just keep it steady into this turn. We know that he will try and come tight in here. So, and there he comes. Oh my God, don't push us off. And he is really pushing us. And again, we go side by side, and again, more contact. Oh my God, how the hell are we still both on our bikes? And he's forced us really wide, almost onto the grass, onto the curb, and he has taken second place. He really threw me out in that turn, and we're down to P3. But let's not try and push it too hard. Let's just settle back down. We know there's a lot of areas on this circuit that we do have pace. We just need to make sure we take advantage of that. That's not too bad through there. Let's try and just close the gap and see if we can get past McVie again. But he is definitely wanting to win the race today. Let's try and keep that nice and tight. And we're going side by side with McVie here. And can we just get in front of him as we turn in? No, he's forcing us a little bit wider. And he's managed to stay on, but we've taken the inside line there, and we are back in front of him. But this is a bit of a battle here. Second and third really pushing each other hard, and we're just watching Rodrigo just run away with it at the moment as McVie's coming the inside there and just forces a little wide, and he's come off. Oh my God, he's come off. He just didn't manage to get the brakes on there, and he just made contact at a really tight angle. I think we will have to look at a replay at the end of the race, but that was definitely his error and not mine. I was on the right line there as well, but we're still on the bike as we go into lap 4. Let's see if we can close down Rodrigo, but we've got Binder behind us now, only just under half a second behind, and we've still got to try and concentrate and make sure that we don't make any errors. And we're still sitting here with the fastest lap of the race as well. So, and he took that one really wide. It looks like he may be struggling for a little bit of grip now as we come towards the end of this race. We're on lap 4. Let's see if we can pressurise the leader as we try and take a little bit through that corner. Oh, this is going to be a closed ending. Got to try and get in front if we can. Just run a little bit wide into that chicane. Try and stay off the curbs. If you get on the curbs through there, it really does throw you out. And again, let's try and get nice and tight. Just backing off the power. And try and get a little bit slipstream on this section as we slow it into this really difficult left-hand turn. This is the one that bothers me the most, because you have to slow down and get really tight. Get the bike really low. And we just managed to get past on the outside, but he's going to take a nice inside line, going side by side. No, he's not going to have any of it there. But can we cut across in the inside? And we've got him on the outside here, but no, he's going to cut across. I tried to overtake him, come towards the end of this lap, but he held firm, and we just caught the curb there a little bit. Be careful, don't want to slide off coming towards the final lap. Right, let's get the bike upright. Power mode 3 on the straight, into the lead for the first time. Let's see if we can lead from the front as we just set another fastest lap of the race. So we're definitely running the quickest on the circuit at this moment in time as we go into the final lap. Now we need a really good chicane here as we just try and be careful because those tyres are starting to wear thin, but they're sort of wearing thin at the same level, mainly on the right side. So that's where we've got to be careful we don't push, as we just feel the rear going a little bit loose then. And we have just managed to extend our lead to almost 4 tenths as we go into this tricky section. This is where they seem to run into the inside. And there's been a crash. Oh, Suzuki's gone down, so there's been a crash. I don't know whether that was a collision with someone else. But let's see if we can just coast without any problems to the end of the race. But you know, in these races, it's never over until it's over. As we just try and just drop down a little bit through there and just stay off the curbs, trying to maintain a decent pace but not push too hard. It would be really good if Binder put Rodrigo under a little bit of pressure from behind and we could just pull away, but it looks like there's a bit of a gap between them two at this moment in time. Right, this is where it gets tricky. We've got to time this right. Oh, a little bit of a rear was just giving us a little bit of grief there, but we managed just to pull it back up again. And again, we've got to be careful around here. Keep it nice and tight and slowly open the throttle. And we're going to have to stick it into power mode 3 as we come to the final 2 corners. And we should have this in the bag as long as we don't muck it up. Come to the final corner, and it looks like Rodrigo is really close and he's going to go for it. I can hear him come in. Oh, side by side. Just stand the bike up and just hope we can get to the line. Is he going to slipstream us? Oh, this is going to be so close, but I think we're just going to nick it, and we take the win. Oh my God, that was so close from start to finish. So many incidents going on in that race, and we finish it with the fastest lap of the race as well. All in all, it was a really good performance, but I think McVie, oh my God, he was unbelievable at the start, and he was causing me so many problems. But let's have a look at that incident I had with McVie. Right, so as he's coming there a little bit too quick, and I think he's just caught the front end of my bike. But let's have a look at a different camera view. So he's coming there, and just minimal contact. That is such a shame, but those sort of accidents do happen. Right, so let's have a look at the Rider Championship, and I'm running away with it on 195 points, which is awesome, and we're still leading the team championship. So all in all, a fantastic episode, a really close race, another race in the wet that we've managed to complete and get a decent result. I must admit, at the start of the race, I was slightly worried how it would go, especially with all that contact, and McVie was really pushing hard. And there was no surprise that he did come off because he was pushing his luck. I mean, we must have come together quite a few times, but on that final corner, I can't remember what lap was it, lap 3, I think he pushed it a little bit too far. But sometimes that happens. I mean, there'll be times when I do the exact same thing and come off, and we have to chase after our bike, get back on it, and hope we can get back in the race. But all in all, a really good experience, and we're starting to really settle in on the Moto3 bikes now, and next I think we go to Germany, and that is a tough circuit for me. I always struggle around the Saxon Ring, so, and if we get wet weather again, it's going to be another learning experience. But I've heard that actually Moto2 bikes are actually harder to use than the Moto3 and the MotoGP bikes, so looking like it's going to be a tough career once we get onto the faster bikes, but we will see. But we haven't got any upgrades being finished anytime soon, but we're trying to speed up the frame because as soon as we can get that one done, we can hopefully get the engine done, because there is some circuits with some really long straights coming up, and if we don't have that done, like the Kimi ring, we're going to struggle. So we want to get that third upgrade on the engine soon as possible. But I'm going to leave you a oh, actually we've got a new staff member that we could hire. That's actually slightly Sebastian Simon. We've got to remember he's French, so that's probably how it's pronounced. And yeah, so what I've done is like I said, I've recorded the last lap or half of that race for you to enjoy, and in the next episode we go to Germany for the Saxon Ring, and it's going to be a tough one. So we got a frame upgrade in about 3 weeks, and then hopefully we can get straight on and improve that engine. But please don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, share the video if you can. Really appreciate it. And I just want to say a big shout out to Mark Dyer for that awesome donation he made to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and I will see you very, very soon.